everybody, welcome to Segue series at Artist Place. I'm Reggie Cupico. We've got a fabulous reading with Latasha and Diggs and Modesto, Flako, Jimenez. But we'll get started in about 5 minutes. So, meet a poet, hug a poet, and we'll see you in 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh, I'm like nervous every time I come to play music. So I'm glad you like it.
So is this your playlist? Or
Yeah, we play like whatever.
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I get to be DJ.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I feel. Yeah,
I love
thanks.
it.
Thank you.
Like, I'm always like, yeah, the music is so good.
Oh my gosh. That's such a compliment.
And I love music. Like, I love music.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, sorry.
No, go for it. Sorry.
Daniel like did this job before me, and like when I came and was shadowing him, like he would always, I feel like he was always like, the music's really important, so I try to like play like the vibes that I think are appropriate. Yeah.
That's a good mentor to have. Or
Yeah.
a trainer. Yeah. Yeah, like these are actually my headphones. Like,
Oh, okay. Love. Yeah. I love a big headphone, like especially when it's cold out.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like,
perfect.
it's a good turnout this week.
On the Zoom.
In real life. IRL.
Yeah, maybe it's like one of those things. Anyway, so this is the fifth one. So maybe, when people have that sense of urgency when it's
Yeah, true. Yeah. Like, oh, I'll just go to the next one. Yeah.
Which Tuesday would you stream?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was stressed too, actually, getting this together, but here we are.
I didn't mean today, I meant Tuesday. The election is stressing me. I just like.
Oh, I thought you said today, but yes, Tuesday, yeah. I just got the email that my ballot was received, so I'm like, thank God. Pennsylvania, yeah. So I'm like, send that girl in, like, please get it in time. So, yeah. What about you? Are you voting in New York?
I'm registered in Florida.
Okay.
They received my ballot. I mean, it's like I fucked up the first Trump presidency, like, so I would never let that happen again.
Yeah.
I didn't get my ballot in.
Yeah. No, I was scared for a second, but no, I'm very stressed
Yeah,
out.
because you're like, it's also, I've had this really bad experience with the postal service. Like, some of it takes, like,
Yeah.
just the normal postal service would take, like, 10 days to get somewhere.
Yeah.
But maybe they prioritize those ballots, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably.
Yeah, I was nervous because it took a while for mine to come here. So I was like nervous that it wasn't gonna get there in time or it was gonna take a while, but I got it in like 2 days, so I was like, thank God. Yeah. Yeah. Oh
Are you
God.
with her now?
Mm-hmm.
Are
Yeah.
you still registered?
Yeah. I was registered here in between the elections, like, I just was like, maybe I should do that, but now I'm back in Pennsylvania. Yeah. Yeah, I was like,
How is it feeling among people and family?
well, I'm from like a very red area, so I think my parents are like really stressed out about it. I think they feel a bit, I think it's gotten really like bad in my town like since, so it's like, yeah, it's not. So, hi.
Yeah, I've heard it's like
my parents are actually thinking about moving because it's like they're so over it, which is fair. But yeah, I don't know. Even like parts of New York are very, like New York City are very red. So yeah.
Just everywhere. It's just hate and negativity and lies. And just, I mean, how do we turn this thing around?
Yeah.
If I-
Yeah, please. Oh, whoopsies, Velcro.
Hey everybody, give yourself a big warm round of applause. It is November 2nd. You are at Artist Space. You go to the coolest alley in Manhattan. My name is Reggie Kubico. I am the executive director for a gathering of the tribes. And if you have never been to a gathering of the tribes, will you please put your hands together if there are some gathering of the tribes versions?
Oversight.
Excellent. A gathering of the tribes
Yes.
is a nonprofit founded in 1991
Yeah.
by blind poet, playwright, and former professor Steve Cannon. Steve Cannon offered a platform for artists to perform work, to display work, and to hold workshops in his East Village home. Notable artists include David Hammonds, Quincy Troop, Darius James, Mpizaki Shange, and Butch Morris. In 2022, Tribes published its 16th biennial literary magazine, the Black Lives Matter issue. We have 2 copies of that for sale with incredible work from visual artists and poets. Definitely check that out. So, Gathering the Tribes is honored to collaborate with Segue series. If you don't know it, the Segue series has been running for over 4 decades. We're so excited to be in partnership as Drew Sara and myself curated 8 readings with incredible poets. Tonight, before I move on, I also have to give a shout out to Tracy Williams, who is our fabulous archivist photographer. Thank you, Tracy. Also, shout out to Madeline on tech. Shout out to Jake and Cecilia at the door. And we wouldn't be able to do this without Lonnie Christopher and James Sherry. Thank you so much for all of your support. And so our poets are Latasha and Nevada Diggs and Modesto Flako Jimenez. Latasha and Nevada Diggs is the author of Village and Work. She is co-editor of Coon Business, SO4. Diggs received the 2020 CD Wright Award for Poetry from the Foundation of Contemporary Art, a Wedding Award, and an NEA for Literature Fellowship. She lives in Harlem and teaches at Brooklyn College. Modesto Flako Jimenez is an artist who loves creating dope work with dope people. Stay tuned for his upcoming work, such as Reconstructing, Still Working, But the Devil Might Be Inside, and Mercedes Part 1 and down. Both of these writers take poetry. They are rooted in place, in language, in cultural memory. From Brooklyn to Harlem, they take the words and they move them. Latasha with sonic brilliance and musicality, and Modesto Flako Jimenez, who in Bomb magazine says, unfolds at the intersection of poetry, community, engagement, and the performing arts. Modesto Flako Jimenez is a visionary taking poetry and theatrical performance outside of the theater and into a taxi cab, into an ancestor home, and also in hospitals and community spaces, showing us that poetry is everywhere. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome up first the poetic stylings of Modesto Flako Jimenez.
Shout out to you, Drew. Appreciate you. Shout out to the Segue. Thank you for letting me open for you. I just gotta say it. Come on now. After that intro, I was like, come on now. I am a poet who loves putting on words on stages. Every time that I get to do a reading, I always feel like, oh my God, they let me into the poetry club. Yay! So I will read you some of my first play, OJ, My Dear Brooklyn, that opened at the public, then I went on to Abrams, and I feel it was like my attempt, reading back to those poems of like, oh, you were so good, bro. But my attempt of trying to figure out gentrification for myself in my neighborhood after like going to a privileged college and then coming back and be like, what the hell is happening in the Bushel? So these will be some of those poems, and yeah, let's see where we go. Appreciate you a lot and how you're supporting my poetry. Thank you. Thank you, Margarita Galante. She held onto my brand new luggage while tears danced all over her face. Oblivious, I stared to the awakening metal giants as they scared the Dominican palms into waving goodbye to their people. Spellbound, I didn't notice the signs. Her tears were warm as we embraced. Tú vas a ver América, she told me. Compórtate bien. Her last kiss of protection were mixed with her regrets at games she could not afford. Her final words of wisdom. Tu abuela te comprará tu primer Nintendo. I was indifferent of the adult concerns. My eyes were still filled with the giant monsters. Soon I was escaping her grip, chasing the metal giant monsters. Passengers only beyond this point. Still missing her, 19 years, 4 months, 9 days of counting. Que no la veo. The curse of the goat. This goat is magical. In various guises, it has possessed our maiden Quisqueya throughout the years. The first recorded appearance in the grass of our country came. The goat stuck his flag in our soil and made us take his name, La Hispaniola. When he moved on us, the great Chief Caonabo and our Lady Chief Anacaona, our golden flower, our beauty, our warrior poet, burned the trespassers' towers to the ground. And La Navidad was still born. But he still continued to move on us, and our spears were not enough to fend off the advances of the Spanish goat. The goat rush in Concepcion de la Vega grew and prospered. Putoy and Guama raised their head to warn the Virgin Cuba, but the goat had tricks in abundance. Simple smallpox infected the Daim, and because of the desire for sweets, the cane infected the land. The pure Beriskia quisqueyana became an endangered species. The goat comes in different shapes, sizes, forms. The next time he appeared among us as one of our own, his disguise confused the land. Falling under his spell, we embraced him. The man who made the name commercial, El Chivo, El Generalissimo. With a malignant hunger, the many mouths of his cattle, the devouring and discriminate goat's maw of his ego, destroyed all his homeland. Wanting to eat all the grass before it grew, then shitting on the ground, leaving nothing but emptiness, in an alluring but unearthly landscape, with names like Ciudad Trujillo, Pico Trujillo. When he was finally gone, old men shouted in anger at the goat's course their stories of abuse. My mother and father offended you, so not yet 13, you punished me with a trip to La Cuarenta, your prison of oblivion. Take your clothes off, you dirty shitface, I could also order the guard. I was a lucky child able to shout your name with love, and that's all that kept me from being digested as a baby snack. Finally now, my dear Quisqueyanos, the goat appears every 4 years under the name of democracy. We keep slaughtering the goats, but then we serve each other goats too. We feed each other Hipólito and Leonel, and meal that only makes you hungrier. The new era of goat tricks, corruption. So many so greedy for a taste of the drugs and money, the new Jews and gold. I understand that we were the first ground zero, Mr. Diaz, cursed from day one. But I ask you, is there no way to restore the valor of the Valladolid Rose? Man, these poems are like hitting me because I'm thinking about the public theater and I'm thinking about the moments of like how do I get my poetry on stages? And how do I figure it out? And wrapping up just like really my anger from gentrification and trying to figure out even my own Latinidad in Bushwick through all these changes of the privileged college that I went to and then being back on the ground. And all my friends would be like, you don't cut your hair like us no more. It was like a moment and a change and trying to figure out how to document my life in America as a platanero who constantly is trying to figure out what path do I walk, because I heard that I'm supposed to be this in this landscape. It's a beautiful, it's just a beautiful push that I love doing to poetry on these stages, where I get to have people turn on lights and light for 12 hours this 200-word poem, and stand here. Wait, the light needs to change and do this and do that. And this whole time, I'm like, oh, look at the poem. It's about the poem. Yeah, it's light to do this, and it just layers for me. There's a theater person here who I love a lot, and I'm seeing his up and coming, and also in his nonprofit off-Broadway theater landscape that makes you dance a lot on stages, but also gives you to fill this cup with the strangeness that is experimental theater. I'm gonna keep going. I'm thinking my bad because I'm reading raw words that are not like cues. When I was 8, Nueva York was what I stared at through the plane window. Turning 9 was easy. Planning my birthday was hard. Everyone I knew and loved never bowed the plane. At the age of 10, I got cast in the school play The Wizard of Oz. From Tin Man to Lollipop Guild. His English was perfect. His Tin Man had a heart sin toque de lengua latina. By 11, I spoke perfect English, or whatever the fuck that means. Then I turned 12, and Curious George and Red Strings was my world. Testing the strength of that string was my 9 to 5. Pliers, notebooks, toys, silverware, you name it, and I was putting it to the test. At the age of 13, she made me my last birthday cake. They never tasted the same. Then 14 came and Peter Shoe store broke my heart for the last time. At age 15, I had braces and glasses and had to take the train. Guys should have a Sweet 16. Maybe I would have never joined the Black and Gold Brigade. 17, I was lost in a world of 360 degrees constitutions, Latin King bylaws. Number 18, your family comes second, the Latin King nation is first. Theater betrayed the gang and control. 19, 20, and 21, finding myself around vegan tofu, Earl Grey thespians, hugging trees while mushrooms hug my broken darkness. 22, I accepted white people don't know everything, although most claim to. 23, I swerved and evaporated into a pirate's baking soda Escobar flow, which funded my 24 to 27 European Canadian swag. Aunt Frank's closet was painted white with blue trimmings. I wonder what the Frank family would think of that. 28, I reflected on all the broken hearts. Melissa crushing minds, Shay aborted without telling me, I destroyed Helena. She moved to Connecticut to be closer to me in Vermont. Dipset was my ride or die, true lover and friend, but you know the saying, you can't turn a bad girl into a housewife. I always try to break templates simply because love is beautiful. Reina, aka Helena's karma, aka all of my savings, ran over me and then threw salt on my wounds. I still talk to her. 29, I found still waters in my storm. 30, I became about my community. When she at 10 thinks again is cool. At 31, I found you, but it was too soon again. Once upon a time, I remember to love and keep loving because of you. Now I welcome spring bouquets of crocus flowers, daffodils, sunflowers, and precious tulips. Then 32 withering petals landed on my lap. I knew not how to water them. Gathering pruning shears and hand trowel at 33 for my jardín, when all was needed was agua to begin anew. 34 is cloudy with many droplets gathering to strike. The night be me, deny my past migrational traumas. It landed thundering, stealing thoughts to survive. At 35, my Mother Earth began shattering. Watching her pass daily, talking to gum branches from the family tree, I act using the only skills I know. Bringing to life Tia Crodicida Floribunda, Abuela Cubana Negra, Primo Coralillo, Tatarabuelo Lantana, Papa Cayena. Let's not forget su hermana, Estela Moribili. 36 characters and counting. Not denying myself a visit. I visit her for 30 and 40 minutes a day, su nieto, Modesto, Modestito. That at 9 years old, she grabbed my hand and helped me on that plane. At 41, I will never forget, and will never let her forget. Si ma, I say, Dios te bendiga, mijo. From the heavens, she replies. Now let's take it to the street, and I was like, emotional. So I have a piece at BAM going up that has part of that poem. Is we're creating a 3rd floor railroad apartment. That was my mother's house. Shout out to Aaron for giving me a space at Kaji. I see you. Come on now. We're creating a 3rd floor apartment. Oh, I see you. A 3rd floor apartment. We're creating a 3rd floor apartment for people to come and just sit and take in what is it to be a caregiver, but also take care of somebody with Alzheimer's, and what tools you can take home with you. We'll have a social worker, but also a therapist there for people that need to question. We'll be giving you care packages and meals to go if you come with an elder. But just a moment of like sharing community and sharing tools that I was able to gather for myself, through taking care of my grandmother, through her moments of Alzheimer's and that beautiful celebration that was to be with her. So if you come to BAM, this will be Mercedes Part 1, which is just a documentary and being able to be part of a healing room to process those moments for yourself with art, or talking to somebody, or being able to gather the tools that is to have your brain be checked for 5 years to tell you how it is and what's happening to it. Being able to give you all those tools, like the part that has nothing to do with the arts, that is just about taking care of yourself, and how you can also use the arts to take care of yourself. So we invite you to BAM to take that in December 3rd through the 8th, and that's the shameless plug. We can keep going with the emotion. So I used to drive a cab, and in this cab this was my way after going to a privileged ass school at Bennington College, and coming back to my neighborhood and seeing the changes of gentrification, trying to make grips of not going back to the streets and like relapsing and like selling drugs, because you're seeing all the money that you're gonna have to need to stay in your own community. So there were moments that I saw that the cab facilitated a moment of freedom and let me go to auditions and let me do all this other thing, but also gave me time to write. Because in between those cab calls, you have time. And every cab customer that gets in the car is an inspiration. If you give them a discount, they might give you a line, right? So it's like, hey, you give me a line, I might take all $2 off that ride. So this is a customer that became a regular. Condorito, play your position. It's something I've always believed in. You have to not play yourself. Living in Bushwick, there are too many people trying to play you already. Club Tally, 135th Street, Riverside Drive. The customer that hired me for the night has me real excited. One of my favorite customers. Loves throwing money around, loves to make a show. He's paying me $200 for the night and paying my club entrance. I brought Drown to read while I wait, but at the last minute I changed my mind and I tell him I refuse to sit in the car while they party. Crazy demand for the cab driver. But it worked. So he pays the valet $75 for my Chevy Venture minivan, pays $100 for my club entrance, and tells me, you're gonna be my security for the night. I tell him, he can tell himself whatever he likes to justify paying all this money. His crew has money, but he still pays for their entrance, a sort of control issue. Boss to workers. He looks at me and can tell I'm stressing the money he's spending like it's mine. Like I just sweated for days in the cab for it. Like it wasn't Monopoly money, he says. Just chill and enjoy yourself. Enjoy your night, little homie. Funny. He's 21. At this moment, I'm 29. Inside is dark, low red leather couches, nothing on the walls, music too loud to speak. Most of the guys are dressed in Goodfellas suits, the ladies wear booty huggers and red bottoms. It's hot with Spanish American flavor in the air. He's home. He's home. Smile appears, weariness leaves. He hops up, sits on the back of the couch with his feet on the seat. A nod of the head and the waiter appears. Same as last week? Nah, I'm gonna take it slow tonight. He orders for his table 8 bottles. 2 Patron, 2 Moet Rosé, 4 bottles of Diddy's Coconut Ciroc. I watch him count out the bills. He lays it out on stacks, 800, 1400, 1200. I see at the other tables coming out of the neck, each bottle has a little sparkle, like the one when you're a kid and they give you that safe fireworks. Just a little stick with a sparkle at the stick. Here comes our parade. From the back room, 3 girls, 2 guys with bottles, sparkles, pineapple juice, Red Bulls, ice buckets, and shiny trays, an alcoholic festival. The waiter taps me on the chest, gives me a smile. How do you want to drink it, puppy? Her voice sweet as cherries. I'm confused. I stare down at the bottles in front of us thinking, what selection? Not only to disrespect, not knowing if there's an order to drinking them, if I'm even allowed to drink any, since I'm the driver. The hell? This waitress is more attentive than I've ever seen in any other club I've been in. Ask which, with what type of cup do you want me to pour it down? They throw, I think, what? Damn, they customer service go hard here. Never been a big vodka, but I go with what's cheap in the streets. Give me the Ciroc with pineapple. If I told you this is regular hood water, I would be lying. These waiters and waitresses are dancing from the time they step out of the back room until the sparkle fizzles out. Caught in the trance of it all, the DJ cuts the music and starts yelling, looks like they popping bottles tonight. Wait, what's that? 35 rosé bottles? Is about to be daylight in this mother. At the same time, he starts playing Jim Jones' We Fly High. I look down at the 8 bottles on our table and look up at a bright, sparkling sun coming out of the back room. Headed towards the crew to our left. This time it's like a mini marching band. Too many bottles, too many sparkles. What the fuck are they gonna put all those bottles in these tiny ass tables? Brain is crashing. Not even hip hop videos you see this shit. 25 bottles of rosé for 7 fucking people. Feeling like I should contribute something, I asked the waitress before she leaves, bring me 2 hookahs, please. Or put them on a separate bill. Her face changes, her smile fades. She realizes I don't belong here. It was a beautiful dream I had once of being in the club popping bottles. Trust me, I know about blowing easy money away. But even in a dream, I could have common sense and not popping 25 bottles for 7 people. This is a whole new level of senselessness show. One guy throwing singles in the air gets shut down by a guy throwing 20s. The waiter and the waitresses, the security, the bartenders get down on their knees to pick up the cash. Later, another guy tops them all, pouring out 2 bottles of Ace of Spades, $1,000 each on the dance floor. As it flows, a dark pool spreads, as he's screaming, hood rich, bitches, hood rich. Watching them celebrate their desperation with such defiance is impressive, commendable, like soldiers celebrating a victory of war. But strange, none look like they have shed blood or tears. More than half have no facial hair yet. Straight babies. I'm feeling old as fuck in this club. I count at least 2 detectives that walk the club back and forth just for stares of amazement. But their eyes visually recording everything, not even a drink in hand. That's how much respect they have for these new breeds of hustlers. Not even to pretend. At least drink a soda. It looks like a drinking rum and coke. Strange, I'm really undercover too, collecting images of psychotic waste and empty posing. This reckless spectacle. It's just another story. Yeah, that's it. Pages. I start to feel a little comfortable. Or at least no longer looking around at a place dumbfounded. Pages. When one of my high school friends pops out of nowhere and says, Flako, what are you doing in here? This isn't really a scene. I respond by grabbing one of the bottles of Patron from the table and screaming out, bowling! Blackout. This is my attempt at being a poet. Here we go. The kitchen, my home. Spoons, forks, spatulas, serrated knives and pewters. We need the proper tools. The grill, caramelized onions, tortillas, touch of pepper and forget about a $1 bill. That's what happens here. Quick rest against the fridge before the rush. My kitchen. Strain the pasta, flame the red thick sauce. Too much sauce on the evening. It drips on the floor. Never again. Order up goat cheese, baguettes, extra virgin olive oil, the cat's footprints in the spilled oil, the sonic peppercorns grinding to prep a kitchen. The smell, the taste. Nice pot of rice and beans, Maria's verde chili pork, filet mignon, sauteed mushrooms, fried meats, left in the fridge 3 days for seasoning. The screams of the meat touching the flames. Keep a smile, don't forget. I won't be able to clean it all up. We ship out tomorrow. I kiss my kitchen goodbye and embrace my cocinero, my black M16A4 Segue. Gentrification poem coming up. Bushwick, Brooklyn. Listen to the beats. The rhythm on my Bushwick Street. Flashback to the 90s, Nas, Jay-Z, Notorious B.I.G. I love it when they call me Big Papa. Metal black holding palms, crack slinging, Jordan kicks, jump rope, punch ball, Skelly, Giuliani, dice, a liquor store, bodega, and the weed man all on the same block. Dutch goods and baggies on the hallway steps, El Tiguerazo, the mother, the hustler, Boricua, Mexicano, Dominicano, Chula Americano, baby mama with 3 baby daddies. The white man was a crackhead if he lived on the block. If you lived on the block, the M train was brown. Key food associated, C-Town supermarket, beef patty on cocoa, bread, now leaders. Everything stops. Think Betty Davis, massive attack. Hey yo, can I get a soy latte around here? Crowd louds up Afro-Latin hipsters, brunching lumberjack shirts, dubbed tandem. Goodbye Blue Mondays, black skateboarders, Bloomberg condos, high-rises, yellow cab, foreclosure signs, community gardens. The M train is orange, organic, vegan, tofu, whole food, straight Joe's, and naturals, and nice EBT. Happy, confused natives stare at the new black stars. Hey yo, where you from? Nah, son, we all from around here. We just went to private school. The broke artist type, something kind of like with that one shit bike. Times change, but I guess we can all play that free piano in the park. Oh no. I get nervous. This whole sports rivalry. I don't mess with sports that much, but I do love the moments of like the Dodgers used to be Brooklyn. And then we took over the Nets. Like, New York is really bully when it comes to teams. You know, like, we make New Jersey run both of our football teams, bro, and make New Jersey say, nah, New York. So the County of Kings, the birthplace of legends, no matter what you heard, yeah, you know you heard us. We big boys over here. Jackie Robinson, Mike Tyson, Chris Mullin over here. Michael Jordan was a snotty little nosed boy over here. Brownstone Warriors, welcome to the sports breeding underdog haven. We dribble over here. We ball hard over here. Step with me to Stephon Marbury's Old Coney Island. Let's b-ball by the Fort Greene tree lines. We play any sports till the sun sets in the park. Let's look at blue and white Don Zimmer running in Ebbets Field. Watch him catch that ball in the infield. Because on this side, Brooklyn's creativity has always roamed free. Do the right thing side, Spike Lee free. Red Hook, Bushwick, Williamsburg free. Welcome to those talented streets. Brooklyn Bridge travels the city landscape. Let's watch Mellow play. Reminiscing of the Bernard King days. Since the Dodgers' 1957 exodus, the city has been our home. No need for that next 34 Penn Station stop. We got a new spot on lock. Jay-Z orchestrated that Marcy Project had, keeping 1/5 of the stop. Because we stay looking for a shot, right, Branch Ricky? So bring Lady Liberty sports rivalry on. Listen to the tales of our twin cities, how our siblings feud throughout the years, those bougie Manhattanites and overpricing their teams, from the elite Madison Square to the Knicks and broken dreams. We represent underdog Brooklyn, those trolley Everfield streets, from the cyclone Coney Island lights to the Bushwick gentrified beats. We back power moves now, yeah, Atlantic Yard moves to bring us that Jason Kidd. We got sports back there. We built the Barclay there to bring that new black and white Nets gear. A team grows in Brooklyn. Manhattan keeps on making it. Brooklyn keeps on taking it. And this is, all those poems are 99, except for the Brooklyn sports poem. All those poems are like in that book you see up there, which was like my first real mini moments in gentrification in my body and trying to like let it out on paper. And then it became a show, and then that show became the push for me to create Taxirandia, which became like a critic's pick and all the stuff you need to get, whatever accolade stuff. That then ended up being able for me to be able to create a franchise, and now there's a car in San Diego. We're trying to get a car in Anacostia in Washington, D.C., in the neighborhoods that are really going through it, and being able to give an artist a car to like tell the story of the neighborhood and the changes of the neighborhood from that car, so that he never will be displaced to tell his story. And yeah, we're trying to have a franchise that feels right in here. Because it's capitalistic America, and we all want to travel, we all want to be fine. We invite you, seriously. Simple request, enter. Nuestras puertas están abiertas. You haven't killed our humanity, even con tu presión en el cocote. Watering those cracks into arcoíris, we must pass by space, water, and time to really see our resilience from slavery, dictatorship, y deportación. Remember, stay open dreaming through it all. Hi, CD. Bienvenido to our rainbow, nature's greatest accomplishment. All of the colors debajo del sol, where the turtle wins without hurting the rabbit, making birds chirp summer shine. Mira nuestro arcoíris, the dreamers. Everything must not be a debate, a political statement, a stand to your cracker barrel ass, and I breathe. We must all see nuestro arcoíris, that self-invitation to clarity, esa alegría con nuestra inner azúcar salsera, ese amor furioso, dale kindness a tu inclusiveness y llénalo de compasión. Te invito to your arcoíris sin colores. We know it's hard to face. Imagínate abrazar your unknown. You must stay at your true colors, from the red taro plantation soil to those Yankee blues. Where are you really from, Americano? Tell us about your history. Blanco is not a place. Do the work. Nike that shit and just do it. Mamá Mercedes and Ahmed go through. Mi gente, miren bien a los arcoíris que ellos invitan, que gastan lentamente. Antes de aceptar su mic check su dance, check su dribble, check su ansal. Cuidado with your Fuku contracts. Stop inviting us to your arcoíris teatral, to our past teatrica trauma. Stop asking POC for certain curve, for certain colors. It's our choice to write about it. Esos momentos esperpentos, eternally embedded on loop. Nuestra vida, un baile sin parada. Do the fucking work, Rampitos. 400 years have been taught you that our spirit can't be broken. Esta melanin is magia bacana, Afro-Latina, Caribeña, Americana. Is that where we get those grants? Is that where we get those grants, arcoíris? Staring at your arcoíris sin color, constantly visiting our trauma for your pleasure within our sanctuary spaces. Esos pisos negros llenos de colores que pintamos, to put palm made on our bruises, then shine in front of you, then wash it out in the dressing room. Remember, every nigga is a star you love shooting down and watching it on YouTube later. Slowly nowadays. I invite you, mi gente arcoíris, to not forget that every check is part of your melanin being sold, helping them stay rich, stable in those seasonal plush seats. You invite us to disrespect the arcoíris, myself, you, our humanity, constantly for that bag. How does el futuro get imagined, arcoíris, if we don't start to detallarlo ourselves? Comenzar a pintar el canvas, planting positive, blossoming light, Painting those blacks gentle and brilliant. Start small, don't rush. Remember, refraction has happened, arcoíris. The white light has scattered through it all. Deseado y no deseado, ha tocado todo. It has not seemed us without force. Tienes que bailar con esas aguas. And simply accept. Entonces sigue pintando ese arcoíris with more positive images of oneself, that beautiful vision of what we are, where we could all be going, pero todos debemos pasar por el rainstorm, and yet our power is looking mighty dry, my G. We must flourish, blossom out this constant drought, arcoíris. Let us not forget the cacti stores agua. Ya sabe. It has evolved past the desert sin cambiar su paisaje. Drink, échale agua a tus roots, arcoíris. Nunca olvides tu proceso. No te pierdas en el constante querido arcoíris amiguita. A beautiful vision to come up with such magic. Know that the best time to see the arcoíris is always going to be after the rainstorm has ended. Droplets of sunlight are needed for the arcoíris, for the spectacle to happen. Part 2, invitation, how to make a nuevo arcoíris. Your turn, comienza. And this will be my last poem. This is like that poem when like, you know, when you're like, nah, this is my weirdest poem because it has like my theater and like this is the poem that rah. So I love the energy of this poem, and it was the poem that ended my first show that kind of gave me all this weird night in the theater world, and it reminds me of my grandma. So she always told me, go get your bag, bro. We're doing exactly what you want. Don't worry about anything else. As long as you're getting what you want, don't worry about it. Go do yours. Don't step on people up. Economical nosebleed. Cadillac dream, wrong trip. He called me Cadillac. El Puerto stash outs. They spoke of that cocaine, sweet, sweet candy, backseat dialogue between Bayamon and Liberty Bell. Baking soda flavored dreams, a lactose brainwave, Jay-Z back close. Please, puppy, bring 3 out, please. Admission, bump, bump. Disco, baby, trying to get those moments of flash. Polyester swag till we reach Madison Ave. That's $27, firm trip. El Gran Mas de Plata. Old school pay by force. Most little hood niggas 101 course. Nintendo dissolves mayonnaise jars, make a life evolve into commercial traps of pure Jordanomics, Bentley trucks. Don't forget, the revolution never made it to us. Those thoughts of normality evade us. Do-rags get used as strainers. Grand Theft Auto core duties, pop, pop, pop. Teach us, change us, desensitize us, strangers. Taino taxi man get thug, danger, bad mood, reload. Wake up. If there's any hope, it lies on the pros. 1984, William contradictory. So can we communicate without them toys? I'm giving you insights to motivate the masses. Get up your asses. Doña Mercedes me jaló y me habló. That's que lo que, míralo. Caonado control. Antes que se vaya el sol. Nada pasa sin el movimiento rojos. Mentals controlado por oro. El dominicano platanero, put him off 2 sort of shotguns of intellectual property. Toma revolución, fuck el cracker, go un lobby. Zapata and Gandhi's, meeting at Anubis Andes, politicking on the youth, caring for blunts with the mean looks, trying to get currency of those rap hooks. Bienvenido a la nueva moderna esclavitud. Vengo from a third world country de callejones y tiguerajes. Looking for life, baby. Looking for life. Baby step with fumes, living the air, asking for myself to like, bro, pick up some leaves. Spray paint talk. Canvas from artists begin to walk. Remember that canvas from poets can begin to walk. Thank you for having me.
Modesto, Flako, Jimenez, everyone. One more time, Modesto, Flako, Jimenez. If you have joined us, this is the Segue series. I'm Reggie Gabico. I'm your co-host. Before we move on, and I introduced you to Sarah, who will do the performance arts analysis, interpretation of our poets. I have to give a shout out to some incredible writers here in the house. Shout out to Danny Schatz and Don Yordi and Jordan Cabrera. And also, I know he's on Zoom, Javier Cavazos, who was a former feature a few weeks ago right here at Segue Series. Shout out to Malcolm Tariq and Pamela Booker and Thaddeus Rutkowski. This is the 5th part of an 8-part series. Next week, Norman Fisher and the New York New Futurists will be here. The following week of the 16th, G. Long Ko and Thaddeus Rutkowski. And November 23rd, we have a finale with Noland and Waldman and Julie De Jesus. So, that said, it gives me great pleasure to introduce my co-curator and co-host. He's the author of Fastminder, his movies, my poems. Let's give a big tribes and say good welcome for Drew Bissara.
So, very early on, the first week that we started this series, I had spent some time with Joan Larkin, who's one of the opening poets of her archives at the Binding Library, and found all this interesting early work of hers. And then Malcolm Tariq, I had worked with him on a project that actually Flako was a part of as well, at Theater for a New Audience, where I had poets write, or commissioned poets to write sonnets inspired by Shakespeare's plays. So after that first week, because I brought in these art objects, I just felt the next week I have to bring in some more art objects, and so I started making things every week. And every week I get a little nervous that I'm not going to figure out what to make, because I'm not a visual artist per se. But I have to say the poets have been so inspiring every week that it's been really fun. These are postcard versions of Flako's poem that was part of the series, so if everyone can take one and then pass it on. And I just want to say too, last week was the first time Reggie said that this was the performance art part of the evening, and then I was like, because I saw Flako's last show at BAM, it was amazing, and I thought if anybody here is going to be open to me doing a little bit performance arty, it's going to be Flako. So I would like to talk about the poem that, I'm going to talk through the sonnet that Flako wrote, because I want to talk about what gives a poem legs, right? And when we did this project at Theater for a New Audience, I was really interested in this idea. We displayed the poems on these giant LED screens outside the theater that were like 9 feet high, and they were also on LED screens within the lobby. And I had done a project earlier when we had poets do haikus inspired by movies, and one of the things I noticed was people would be walking down the streets because the poems were displayed on a movie marquee, and they would count the syllables. And they'd be like, oh, that's a haiku. And they were always really excited to recognize that was what was going on. And with this project, this poem was so perfect because it showed that it was a sonnet while being a sonnet. Because we all know the sonnet, but most of us probably can't rattle off the rules. So it's like, how many lines are in a sonnet? Well, Flako tells us right here. And he shows us like how many lines are in each stanza, and then he illustrates the rhyme scheme. He gives us an indicator here, and then in case you didn't know it was inspired by a play, he includes stage directions at the top and the bottom of the sonnet itself. And I thought, this is a guy who gets the assignment. Like, it was the one poem in this series where I felt like anybody who was coming down the street and encountered this giant poem would be like, that's a sonnet. Yeah. And so I was always very thankful for that. And as a result, we had an opportunity to share that a piece from that at the Brooklyn Public Library, and I pulled Flako's poem in for that, and then my boyfriend, who's an artist, made some broadsheets of the poem, which we have here today, if you'd like to take a look or maybe take one. And I'm forcing this poem upon you, and I want you to each take it home, so I have the postcards made again as well. So, thank you. I'm so glad you're a part of the series. In terms of Latasha and Nevada Diggs, I mean, I was so amazed by Village, and I didn't know how to attain the sort of brilliance of that, so then I scaled back, and I was looking at some of your works I found in the Beinecke, which were these little pamphlets, like What the Wind Whispered to the Little Dolphin, and The Girl with the Afro Halo. And I was really taken by the 2 water scores that you wrote, and these are like little self-contained poems that came in these little pamphlets that folded up almost like a little origami piece into like a little book, or beautiful, exquisite little pieces. So I was into these water scores, and I was like, how do I manifest the water score as a little object of art? And I was like, well, I'm going to get this poem, I'm going to put it in water, and like seal it and make sure it's all laminated, and the ink kept running, and the container was too heavy. And I was like, she doesn't want to come to this reading and have like a 20-pound brick that she's carrying around with her afterwards. So I made this little case that has like a water surface design on the outside, and then the book, which is a little smaller than the ones that you had made, it operates in some ways. Some of the poems that are in Village, you have to sort of choose your own path. And so this, to read the poem, you have to like flip the pages like one of those little kids games with the little ball in it. Right? So yeah, this is what I made for Latasha. I just loved your books, and I loved getting to see the more intimate pieces you made as well. So that's the end of the performance art part of the evening.
Drew Pissarra, everyone. Let's go for Drew Pissarra. Phoebe Shockley says of Latasha and Nevada Diggs that her book, The Village, is a family history, a biomythography, a sensory tsunami, a documentary poetics composed in the languages Diggs needed to get at her truth. Latasha and Nevada Diggs is probably one of the most innovative poets who inspired me as a poet in the 90s at the New York Poets Cafe. Each decade, her work just grows into experimentations of love, ancestry, and lineage. It is an honor, Latasha, that you are part of the tribe's history, and we thank you for all of your courage and your artistry. So please help me welcome Latasha and Nevada Diggs, y'all.
One of my last vivid memories of Reggie was at the Poetry Project. Emmanuel Xavier had put on some type of ball, poetry ball, so there was a lot of underdressed men walking around reciting poems in boxers. And it was free. It was free. It was part of a time when wasn't sure what we were doing, what we were going to be. I brought that up to say thank you, Reggie, for inviting me. Thank you, Drew, for inviting me. Gathering of the Tribes is It's a treasure chest of sorts. It's where my first poems were published, alongside Long Shot, edited by Danny Shot and Nancy Mercado. And Tony Medina was the one who convinced me to send my work to Long Shot. So there's a tradition that both gathering of the tribes and Long Shot in terms of introducing those young writers who didn't necessarily think we were writers yet to the possibility of, yes, your work can be published, and yes, people will be interested in reading it. So thank you for that. So I'm going to, and thank you, Segue, for having me part of this. I know James was salty with me a couple of years ago. But I hope we're okay now. It's like, let's be true. Let's be. It's true. Don't. You fucked up. So not you, but it's just like anyway. No, I didn't fuck up. I just was in the trenches of this. So what I would like to do, I'd like to read two poems from Twerk. Some folks think village is not tied to twerk, but village is kind of like an origin story to twerk, and twerk does have poems that I like to explain to folks that would give you a hint that something else was in water. So I'll read two poems from this, and then I'll read some poems from the village. And thank you, Modesto. Thank you. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh, for the Zoom people. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Okay. For that memory of Mr. Reggie. Marmota monas misrahi. These chichi bublea at the latex ball. Call the child legendary, tends across for broad, plump, agrarian fierceness. Marmota monas misrahi served for a realness for decades. It was never about how she bought it. She was born with it. No one thought she could battle the twisters, thought she had retired to a burrow somewhere. But her arabesque, they gagged and lived for. Her dip-controlled gracefulness said it. Shablam, that's how you eat it. I'm in charge of the girls. Don't mind the stubby tray, it's not for you. The daughters thought they'd turn out discouraged with youth in long, angular limbs, linear, rigid actions given to geometrics and dramatics, something young knees could withstand. But this bitch, the undeniable openness of Marmona Monax Mizrahi Duckwalk sealed it, her exhibition punishing, her attack position cougar, cunt, realness, reinvention, lowland, vegan butch. The children were not ready. Twisters ate. Marmona Nats Mizrahi broke it down. Spun whirlwinds around cunts, bypassing inflamed endorsements. Those short limbs with symmetry saying, let me get my life back, packaged in Timberlands, white tube socks, black latex hot pants. Marmota Monax Mizrahi tilted her wrist. She refused to be chopped. Spins, catwalks, duck walk, dips, duck walks, lollies, spins. The mamada could not be denied. Work, you woodchuck bitch, the crowd screamed. 13 crowns and tens our claws with her final bow. I love you all for loving me. Unagi, an acquired taste. It is said that eels can come back to life, chopped into tidbits, left alone. The pieces may regenerate, wiggle, grow new heads, eyes, teeth. The girl thinks of this every time she eats sushi. She never eats eel 2 days old. What if it came back to life and paid her a visit one shifty night? She met an eel one Sunday while playing with pencils and shoestrings. Enthralled by her youth, he invited her into his dollhouse, sweet, for sweets and conversation. The suite was paved with peach bathroom tile, curtains with orange, heavy, hung from iron branches. He was curious about her origins. What do you look like, he said, teasing. I look like Thumbelina in hand-me-down, she said. You look like a buoyant, pocket-sized queen, surrounded by a porcelain sea, he said. I look like Thumbelina, lost in a forest of cows drunk on night dream, she said. I wonder what you look like, he said. Inside, he said. May I see what you look like inside? Unable to question his metaphor, she might guess. The bright sweet was cold and sweaty, shards of heat could not alter the temperature nor spoil the fruit. Stiff he failed once, slack he failed twice. Caught off by a shriek, the eel bitterly withdrew his solicitation. Outside, a cow was awakening. The eel would not see her insides. The slimy flesh of an eel always puzzles her. Once unappealing, it has now become an acquired taste. Every morsel that enters her is followed with contemplation. She wonders if its amputations resurrect and swarm in her bowels, if an eel's descendants can finally see what she looks like inside. Twilight lore. Somehow my great-aunt Mary Lightfoot erased herself the moment she collapsed on stage. An opera with no recording, no Van Vechten or Van Disney receipt. What evidence, if any, left available concerning the spellings, aliases, contralto or mezzo, coherent or intoxicated, the surnames and clans I am bound to, as they say, you, mommy, took to the grave, we become mythologies. H over T bordered by an incomplete F, hopscotch over a dress wearing T, an imbalanced scale teetering in I. The T died during double dutch. The L resurrects, box as an unequal. Put it on the heel. And heal, won't you? But why the Y die? Profile the tribe that liquor built. Its window, the sheen of wild Irish rose, night train, bottleneck clunk, Finda Binda, Ascension, conceptual, now Hammond, won't you? Make it a brownstone on St. Nicholas, make it gangrene on the brain, make it an arm amputated, and a strange firstborn, a grandson, prisoner number 291865, make it a sale at Allendale Correctional Facility, bonds denied and in denial, or the mind your beeswax from a bitter gay grandson, the rapist, adulthood, or the grandson deported to Panama, compliments of Obama, scooped up by missionaries, worn down by buzz, by HIV, high and numbing. Or woke up near 7th inside a largely vacant tenement under Eastern European ownership. The flash flood rains outside your door, tetanus from flat-head nails, ruined goodies. The why died. Ladybugs suck salt from a crack in your ceiling. The former walls, now beams, expose the bruise. Divide are equal to H to T and L. Discounted, dented tumblers, the holidays. On trapeze ease by airborne rings. Pop, probiotics, fizz, binge, fuzz, flick. Dark oars, bloodshot, indentures as heirloom, parakeets and creation, what tired pain brought on a post-war shtick. Tending to drunk mothers, not be the section of this. As in gentle with all chosen mamas, aunties, nanas, the nurturing observed with kin, not kin, likely kin, but always kindred. Don't steal from the gumball machine. Off instructions with a now baby. Don't raise your voice, raise your arm to support our weight. Tender, always tender toward pitch of excitement. Hear how you pick up the phone as kin expect, except you should. You will eventually anticipate the situation, caring for your future version. Near fledgling, never near adult, the upward down obliged to depend, soon accountable, something old to who birthed you. To them, for her, their service, all those years, a type of mothering, not mothering, a worrying. Did she teach you how to fly though? Child ain't no, does not want to be accountable, don't want, don't know, doesn't say, tenderly nor delightfully that she can, will fail at it. Why surprise? What have you offered your youth inside this charm box? Sharpen the focus onto who never knew your family, savor their conversations, trips to Costco, gown sense. Q-tips dipped in olive oil to clean belly buttons. Let them talk Calamine and Vicks, collagen gummies. Suckle onto that necessity's nag and atrophy. Care to taste sweet care. You're honest about new rituals. What she can but won't say she didn't, don't choke over what she didn't do. She tried and tired of doing. Attrition for the pickled child of a blitzed mother, what the blood never taught, what the hand-reared parent thought they taught. Expectations stay unexpected, cause she failed. Sip till black, slip down staircase, shit, dip head, clip, eyelid, she drips, vomit, grip on sip, she busted lip, she dribble, she as in drool, she careful, she tiptoe through the number 2, she rides, as in IRT, each stop a prowler, skip, slide, Komodo, sip, good for worms, a choke from Pall Malls, bits of needy sweet scotch snuff, cradled in gums, zip up to bear down Flako's hips. She omit directions in the script. She snipped that flabby clip, edit back there, headbit. She quit, more like cold turkey salad. She skipped the training session on how to become a mother. No tips, no script, no contract with no maternity nurse signed. What's CPS got to do with it? We script instead, biopic onto corn chips for myths, what she ain't fed, was fit. Goldilocks. You believe this because someone mentioned that they teach this, and some students relate to it, and I was surprised. And I saw the scenario playing out on 116th at Lexington yesterday, and I said, yup, Goldilocks. At 73, Mother has her first mani-pedi at a nail salon on Broadway. She's more concerned about her Victory Wheel scooter outside the salon than selecting a nail color. Her scooter is hot wild, as is the lipstick she scoops out with a bobby pin. Irritated, Mother demands that daughter sit outside with the scooter. Daughter can't monitor our buddy. The gratification of a good deed tending to Mother's toes and fingers is a joke. She pokes her face inside. There's tension in the mother's brow. This was to be a nice surprise for Mommy's birthday. Pampering. And I hope Mother chooses, or was it the daughter, a golden bronze to complement her complexion. Next year it will match the gold Dutch wax wrapping, the mother's locks in a white coffin with gold handles. Before that, returning to the mother's home near Central Park, the eyes twinkle with a smile. Mother shows off her manicured fingers. The fingers strut in the air as she announces how daughter took her to get her nails done. Nothing about the fear of someone riding off on her scooter. Mother giggles. A little girl for the first time in the nail salon with her mother. What she never had, what she never offered, what other reveries plagiarize. That's what friends are for. That's what friends are No, okay. The prettier, the heftier the brick. In memoriam, thank them all. The brick, the fist, the fingernails, the foot, thank them for this foundation. Distaste for an eye color no one asked for. The many times the careful aim of bottles and kickballs wore out your vision. Gratitude for their heavy brutality. The overhead of jovial slander, how the overheard minor string of compliments gifts your gums that copper tang. Pretty equates to malice. Careful now. Don't let them hear you say thank you. The prettier, the stingier they share down laters or lemonheads, except the clinch. The slow, loose, long-nail apex slither, who can be trusted. In tribute, hoard their smiles, their gropes, the rooftops and basements. Thank them for their celibacy, to make sense or make it go far, far away. Who truly there for you? Count on a single hand that time's embrace, a kind snuggle on sand under the moon. Countless rescindings of endearments for fear of assault. Pretty as pushover, cute as a bruise between two wholesome holy alleys and arcade and candy store. Leave the clotted blood on the hands of mean girls. Quiet now. Booker T. Washington, Junior High School, 54. Mystic Gorilla Mountain mead covers, us tweens undecided past notes in cafeterias, lips greasy with artificial Jemima syrup or Vaseline. Glasgow whispers to say, peering cackles near, boiler room asks for bathroom passes. Hallway monitors mock their absence, tableau vivant. Sizzling, crackling lobe etched from scorched, easy bunnies easted on three-ring trapper keepers, pandas. Rainforests are bamboo rulers, loose leaf belts need this nearing assault near lead paint, and Jorge, the custodian, always broke it up before young damsels swallowed. So it's, I'm still figuring out how to read this book, how to navigate this book. Because there's a lot of things happening, things to do with origins and parents, and when parents become children, and when children become caretakers, and the frustration of that, and then displacement, and art, and how art is used in all of these wonderful, magical ways to disguise projects, development, and stuff. A proposal for the Mayoral Advisory Commission on City Art Monuments and Markers. I will create a monument to celebrate Cowboy and Billy legacy and other neighborhood heroin addicts who served as foster parents. I will celebrate them as functional enough to monitor their addictions when tending to my little sister and me on and beyond 111th Street. This monument will celebrate trips to the movies on 42nd Street and comic book readings. It will celebrate how these types of extracurricular activities for Cowboy and Billy, when appropriately supervised, led to imagination, dreams, possibilities outside our neighborhood's landscape. Depending upon your vantage point and approach to Lenox Avenue's corner of 111th, the monument will comprise of two silhouettes, Cowboy wearing his military moving hat and Billy wearing his leather bomber jacket, with one facing east and the other facing north. On the triangular public area that is the beginning of St. Nicholas Avenue are Requesky, an old Wappinger trail that predates the Commission's plan of 1811. St. Nicholas, aka Santa Claus, was considered the patron saint of children, sailors, and thieves. The monument will stand directly across from the once iconic red brick building that housed the Yiddish Lenox Theater and Second Canaan Baptist Church. Rainbow granite will be carved in a shape that mimics the swollen forearms with hyperpigment papules, commonly known as junkie arms, the results of skin popping, and long-term intravenous drug use. It is my opinion that Cowboy and Billy disrupt the perception of those with drug addictions, both unworthy of a monument. This monument showcases how Cowboy and Billy maintain a sense of morality and a protective attitude toward their drinking buddies' children, oftentimes contradicting the public's positioning of them as only heroin addicts. Counter to commonly held perception of drug addicts, Cowboy and Billy saw us, the daughter of men, as worthy of a childhood momentarily free of trauma. On the day of the unveiling, I will host a screening of the 1973 James Bond movie Live and Let Die as the site for this future monument appears in an overhead shot when Agent 007 ventures to Harlem to locate Dr. Kananga, aka drug kingpin Mr. Big, played by the actor Yaphet Kotto. Yaphet Kotto co-starred in the film Alien, 1979. Continued. What kind of impact, artistic, intellectual, communal, civic, social, etc., do you hope your project will have? 200 words. You've all been there. As of present, there are no public artworks, specifically monuments celebrating Harlem's Black and Latinx community. Thus, in conversation with other public art projects Uluche has created throughout Harlem, Uluche wishes to honor the nameless representing saviors and teachers to a pocket of youth, often the black sheep or oddballs, who were without functional family units. It is Uluche's desire to uplift those who were not public figures, yet were involved in affirming publicly and to ask questions about whose social standing actually mattered. A point of inspiration for this monument is by the sculptor John Rodin. Commissioned in 1974 by Harlem Hospital, the sculpture Untitled Family can be seen in the 1990 film More Better Blues and is a site for many Harlem bus tours and participating Black churches. Uluche's proposed monument expands Rodin's Black family unit to include the chosen family, whose very presence contributed to Uluche's understanding of Black and brown lives. By employing a non-traditional sculptor to depict non-conforming identities, the monument serves to highlight the fortitude of not only Cowboy and Billy, but also the many outsider-insider people they represent. This is ultimately about the visibility of everyone in Harlem's village. How many moments do I have? 5, okay. So very, very quickly, and thank you again. I'm going to read the last one. Just wanted to say that it comes from a series of wishes, dreams that I wrote back in 2006 through 2008. And something that I like to tell my students with regards to the concerns and the woes they have about your thesis. When you're doing your thesis is your thesis. Your thesis is not the manuscript. Your thesis is the thesis. And so we're working to get you to the thesis. And then maybe sometime after you put that thesis in a box, you forget about it, you go back to it and you start working on what will be a manuscript, because when it's in the box, it's just a stack of papers. And so I try to tell my students, don't stress the thesis so much, because when you do the thesis, then it's like, wee, yay, celebrate, It's that editing thing, it's that composting thing, it's that, seeing it with eyes that haven't looked at it, that haven't been worn down by deadlines and stuff. So So these were poems that came, and then poems about dreams, poems about wishes, and realizing, are these dreams and wishes borrowed? Because, what do you have? So, okay, I'm gonna stop bullshitting and read the next poem. Astaya Aninela is Jalabi for husband. Maiden surname Rousseau Ihinkati for tall, K, with short, well-educated sense of loyalty, a definite which you, a teacher, even better, a professional, loves cinema, income, nice, substantial net worth, and artist, not witty, not a military man down to earth, not a musician, likes to travel, not a bum. What a surprise, doesn't have a drinking issue, just a social drinker, not one who hurts silly, likes to cook good, is edgy, loves his edgy. Puerto Rican? Nah, he's Japanese. He's from Iran. What do you think? Why you think? All Anita Lonike, all Asians are Chinese. He's a dentist, no Korean, spontaneous, Canadian. He's not a terrorist, he's a real estate agent. Not American, handy, spiritual, not an African from Africa, cooks southern food. Africa is not a big jungle, really likes my work. You know that, respects my interest. He's European. You said I was gonna marry a white man, an Indian. I can talk to him, Nigerian. Wish you a jalaki. What's wrong with Jamaicans? Generous. Has a child already. His mom is really nice, Caucasian, never dated one, wants more kids, a cracker, said it like Telly Savalas and smile, taught me how to drive, finally kisses my toes. What the realty say? Truth, why is it fast? The Central American laborers returned today. They demolished 4RW, the former home of Yvette Brother and their 2 kids. I offer orange juice and water to them, as they are not as loud as were Yvette's fights with Brother, as were their parental disciplining, as was their stereo system. Podcast, Fix My Life, Favors for Love, Need a Tootsie Roll turntable, Make It Rational, Construct a Vision Board, Scotch Tape, and Room DCATL Negroes you know you ain't into. What reality for the celebrities say? These be her evangelists, really. In the meantime, acts of faith, aspirations daily, you needed this. Polyamorous excuses, another one bites, dust mites, vexed at faux, suede shears, and bargain basement strolls, steer retired dancers into fetishes, former lap dances at the Dakota, the better she get at it, the least she suffer. From shorter rests, better to hide than reveal fatalities. Not a lick of what she withdraws will travel past this chapter. Deaf ears travel mighty distances, what they all say, heal thyself. Morning flush of raw garlic and apple vinegar, anise and clove tea, cinnamon brewed in warm honey to bathe, detox pearls, yoni steams. Deny herself flesh, even the flesh she dry fucks to sleep. Where is the loyalty? Resist the spontaneous. She gets sloppy in the midriff. You still want her? For how long? You can smell it hungry, don't call me thirsty. Talk rational words into the heart when steam buffers. It can't be too generous. Take it till she make it. How long till she make it? Rejection, God's protection. Pigeons displaced the morning doves last winter. Demolition team takes a break. Packing whatever happened to Mama's green card wedding room. What was her husband's name? Thank you.
And we're about to